Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Viking Central. I'm Steve, and just providing you guys a pregame preview for Monday Night Football, Vikings Bears. And I'm excited. I know you guys are. This is the first game of the season, and we got plenty of things in store. Storylines galore. JJ McCarthy grew up 30 minutes from Soldier Field. He grew up his first game. He was wearing a Bears jersey, going to Bears Vikings. Got to see Adrian Peterson back in the day, and now he's coming back to Soldier Field, leading the Vikings. And there's just a lot of things that we could talk about, whether it be Caleb Williams and him being in the same draft class, Caleb being drafted before him. So there's always that comparison that will go with that. And of course, it's an NFC North battle. So we have that in store as well. But then there's other things that we have to consider, such as who's in and who's out. You can always support us by checking out all of our articles that we have over on Substack. We did post today a pregame article as well too that previewed some of the matchups and ease of the game, if you will, and things to look for in this game, as well as a prediction, which I'll cover as well. So Vikings Bears injury report. Out for the Vikings, Xavier Scott with an ankle, Elijah Williams as well as out with a hamstring. And then doubtful, which we know he's now out, is Harrison Smith. And then questionable, we had Christian Darrisaw, still 50-50, may play. We'll see as we get closer to the game as far as what that looks like. With the Bears, doubtful is TJ Edwards at linebacker, and then questionable for them, a couple big names on here. So they got Josh Blackwell at nickelback with a groin, Roshan Johnson, a running back with a foot. He was limited in practice, likely out. But Jalen Johnson's on here with a calf groin, limited practice, 50-50 chance for him to play. And then also Kyler Gordon was added to this list today with a hamstring. So his status is uncertain. If one or two of those key corners, Jalen Johnson or Kyler Gordon, can't go, that is great for the Vikings offense tonight, for the receivers, and of course for JJ McCarthy. So big things to take away. Of course, JJ McCarthy versus the Bears pass rush. You're going to have Montez Sweat, and the Bears have upgraded their defensive line. They're going to be going after JJ McCarthy all night, whether it be 8 people in the box, trying to make sure that they're trying to force something. Expect JJ McCarthy to be under pressure. They're going to try to throw everything at him and try to make the Vikings beat him with his arm. So you're going to see a lot of 8-man in the box, a lot of blitzes tonight. But look for JJ McCarthy utilize screen passes, whether that be to Aaron Jones, or we even saw Jordan Mason get some screen passes. And then look for his comfy blanket to be probably TJ Hawkinson tonight against the Bears. The running game success versus the Bears is going to be a key to this game, in my opinion, because for these first 3 games, especially without Jordan Addison, I know we picked up Adam Thielen, but he's at this stage in his career, he is not Jordan Addison, not at that level. So let's expect the Vikings try to run the ball a lot with their 1-2 punch combo and Jones and Mason. But if they're not having success, again, the Bears want JJ McCarthy to try to beat him with his arm. So if that's not happening, this could be a tight game, and JJ's really going to have to step up tonight if that's the case in his first game as a starter. So don't expect a high scoring affair, but towards the end of the game, I think it may turn into a little bit of a track meet at the end of this game. But the Vikings are going to try to control the clock with the running game as long as they can sustain it and be successful, as both of these teams have upgraded on the offensive line and defensive line. Both teams did that. So similar in that aspect to where we were both players in free agency. Now, the other thing to look for is Caleb Williams versus the Brian Flores defense. Harrison Smith being out obviously affects what we're trying to do scheme-wise. We like to send Harrison Smith on blitz packages, and of course, playing that 3 safety defense. Do we see less of that now with Harrison Smith not in the game? Or does Jay Ward kind of fill that gap at safety as well? So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Theo Jackson and Josh Metellus, of course, getting the most of that play at safety. So we'll see if that switches up what they end up doing. But the big thing that we want to see is how successful is our front five on defense against that new revitalized offensive line that the Bears have. So if we're successful in blowing up um, the the pass rush, basically, if we're successful in blowing through that offensive line, this is going to be a great game for the Vikings. Because they're going to try to beat us with the run. It's kind of the same concept. Keys the game to where we're trying to put pressure to limit the time that our corners have to cover their wide receivers. And we didn't have that last year with that inside push. We do now with Javon Hargrave, and then of course with Jonathan Allen. So I expect Redmond get Jalen Redmond. He's going to have the start as well with those three on the inside, and then Andrew Van Ginkel and Grenard and Dallas Turner are going to have that heavy rotation out on the edge. I expect them to run screens as well. They like to do that with DJ Moore, and that's kind of a clone that they have in Luther Burden, where they like to run screens through him as well. Andrew Van Ginkel, this could be a game where he's looking for a Ginkel six, a Gink six. But if I'm the Bears, I've watched tape. We know that he's really good at sniffing out those screens, and he tries to jump that route. So if I'm the Bears, I try to go opposite side of him. We'll see. We'll see if they're keeping an eye on where Van Ginkel is on the field. But that's what I would look for. As far as a receiving core matchup, man, Vikings are really going to benefit if one or two of those corners for the Bears are out. But adding wide receiver Adam Thielen, like I said, he's not quite the relief, if you will. It's not the same as having Addison. So they are still going to mess Addison, but it's nice that they were able to add Adam Thielen, who knows the offense, knows the playbook, and has familiarity as he was working in the offseason with JJ McCarthy. So that is great. Naylor is going to be available for this game. Just hopefully he has fixed his the drops that he had that we saw in the preseason and of course through training camp. On the other side of the ball, the Bears do have White, the receiving core with DJ Moore, Luther Burden, and then Romeo Dunze. Don't forget they have tight ends Coastal Loveland and Cole Kmet. So Vikings cornerbacks, Murphy Jr. and Isaiah Rodgers are going to be busy with them. I hope that we're getting pressure to where they can do a little bit of press coverage and maybe not allow their wide receivers off the line as much. And then I do expect Dwight McGlothern to get plenty of playing time in this game as well. So we'll see how we hold up in that. They have three pretty good wide receivers. Again, we have, good tight ends. It is going to be tough to stop them, but we do have a really good, we have a top 5 defense. Okay. Going into this game, we have a top 5 defense. They have a really good, powerful offense. The biggest thing is, can we get that inside push and pressure to not only stop the run, but then also really pressure Caleb Williams and force some bad passes and limit the opportunities and time that he has back in the pocket. That's going to be the keys here. My predictions going into this game, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a high scoring affair, but it could turn into a track meet. So, this could be like a 23-20 type of game. But my prediction is at the end, this turns into a little bit of a track meet, and the Vikings end up pulling this out on Monday Night Football and JJ McCarthy's first start, 31-24 Vikings. That's my predictions. Leave in the comments what you think the score is going to be. Please join us right after the game. Right after that, I believe Brett's going to be on with myself, Austin, and also Ryan joining us. The 4 of us, we want to hear your comments, your reactions from the game as well. In the post-game show, right after the game, join us on X, YouTube, or Facebook. Leave us your comments, interact with us. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Skol Vikings. Let's go out and get a win in week 1. Let's do it, guys. JJ McCarthy is JJ season. All right. Until next time, I'm Steve. Catch you tonight after the post game. Let's get a dub.